We've all seen the tower in 2.2 and basically everyone has played it. 4 levels that somewhat tie to each other and show us a bit of lore about the game. But what is that lore? Well, after months of planning, I present to you the Tower Lore Pizza Delivery Guy Edition. You've just hopped out of your scooter carrying a few pizza boxes. You stopped your scooter because the street to your customer's house is, well, a bit bumpy. You start walking towards the house, the biggest mistake of your life. This street has loads of traps to keep bandits from robbing houses, such as potholes with poison, potholes with spikes, potholes with falling wood crates, fireballs, saw blades, the usual. Getting past all of that brings you to the pathway towards your customer's house. For some reason, the doorbell's on the ground. Hitting the button causes a robot to do a Face ID check on who you are, saying,
"I see you."
After Face ID guy looks you in the eye, the door or gate is opened with no one on the other side. Now, because you're such a curious little goober, you enter your customer's house to the sight of nothing but 3 coins. These coins are tips that the customer is giving to you, with there being 3 in total. The first is for finding a bunch of coins around the streets and bringing them with you. The second is for finding 3 trinkets the owner has lost, represented by blue coins. By the way, the coins don't actually exist and they're all in your delivery guy head, but we'll get to that soon. The third coin is for delivering the pizza as fast as you can. If you get to the owner's house in 70 seconds or less, you get a tip. As you go deeper, you see Face ID guy come back. Maybe your customer has security for the security in their house? Anyway, instead of scanning you, Face ID guy just starts laughing, a gate closes behind you, and you drop who knows how far down with your pizza. That part will be very important for later. You drop into what seems like the sewers with some flying robot realizing you survived your fall and flying away. Totally not suspicious at all. Remember the broken wooden crates on the surface? Well, the sewers is where they fall. The poisonous liquid on the street also leads all the way into the sewers. Now, you can collect some coins that fell into the poisonous pits above and some trinkets people also have dropped into the poison, giving you your lovely blue coins. One of which being someone's pet monster who somehow got here. It seems like some of these things here are designed as traps. I wonder if this is all part of Face ID Man's plan. Anyway, at the top of the sewers, you find a door, probably for the maintenance workers to maintain the sewers, and you crawl through. Now we're in a higher part of the sewers and this door behind you is locked. In front of you is this elevator with a button on the ground. Seriously, does no one have hands here? Also, for some odd reason, the button has a big red X on it, almost like this isn't a maintenance passageway. I wonder what that could mean. After the button pressed, you have to dodge spikes and other things to make it to the top. Here you can get 1 trinket and you're out, but before that, you can still get more tips? It's almost like we're still working towards something. Finally, we're out of the underground part of the city, right?
You dare defy the Lord of Darkness? How bold of you, peasant.
This isn't sunlight. Now we're in a dungeon of some sort, and for some reason, Face ID guy is back. One thing to note is that you fell into the sewers of your own customer's house, and we climbed out of the sewers not far from the house. So that means this cellar belongs to your customer. Ignoring the angry Face ID man, you go through the first game mode switch to become the robot. Then, for the 3rd time already, you go up. And in the middle of going up, Face ID guy appears twice in the span of a second from one spot to another. I'm starting to think that maybe these Face ID guys have multiple clones who are all apparently mad at you. If you were to say one block in this game is 1 meter tall, then you are a dwarf. If you were to say a block is 1 meter tall, then the whole cellar would be around 60 meters tall or 13 to 20 stories tall. Basically, my guy has the Leaning Tower of Pisa under his house. At the top of the Leaning Tower of the cellar, you meet Face ID guy again. Little bro thinks he's the main character, so he throws a tantrum like a little baby. After his tantrum, Face ID guy gets up close and personal with you and says something about defying the Lord of Darkness or something. Then a bomb drops in front of you and everyone knows what happens next.
No! Rattle!
For some reason, after completely decimating the cellar wall and jumping right through, you find a different dungeon similar to an abandoned building with some mushrooms. A few mini coins later, you meet this gigantic area filled with blue spikes around all edges. It's surprising how the city above hasn't drilled a mine down here yet and harvested all the valuable materials. Passing this, you then find your 3 tips again, so you take it and leave the dungeon without questioning it a single bit. At this point, you just want to go home. Similar to the second half of the cellar, the secret hollow drops you into a cave with glowing mushrooms, if you look close enough. Moving forward, obstacles like falling boulders, something that should not occur naturally and gives more evidence that maybe this was all part of your customer's plan, falling platforms mixed with fireballs and pits of spikes. At this point, you've seen it all. Past the obstacles and climbing up a ladder, you dive straight into a cave. On the other end, it seems like you've changed back into your original form. Then we have some sort of pulley system to bring you higher. Seems like the person who made this ran out of ladders or something and opted to make something more complicated. Weird. Anyway, you then try going into a cave ahead with an interesting sign in front of it. Running into it gets you trapped in a prison cell and sets off an alarm. A flying monster takes you into the cave and inside some maze because you were way too heavy to be brought anywhere else. But because the prison is made of straw and you have plot armor, you escape, get through the maze and change into a ball, which is accepted by the monsters. Leaving your prison, you get past security guards who have the keys to your freedom. Finally, after all that, you meet an empty cave. Is this the end? Where's the way back to the city? Do I go back the way I came? How will I explain this to my wife? And then suddenly, kaboom!
There goes your tower. Watch it crumble. Feel the power.
Some circle monster appears, but this one has a name. The circle turns into a spiky ball and the boss fight begins. Circle guy starts spitting fireballs at you, but with your immense knowledge of dodging traffic as a delivery person, the fireballs stand no chance. Then these green fireballs appear and you recognize them immediately. It's broccoli. You start thinking back to what Face ID guy said before.
Your power is meaningless.
Then you realize, this whole time you've held your pizzas with you, but now you don't feel them anymore. The cursed stone has sucked up your pizzas to use for his power. The fireballs he shoots are burning slices of pepperoni. Then he shoots a green flame and a piece of broccoli appears. Everyone knows broccoli is the worst topping on a pizza, so obviously this should be your only way to damage Circle Monster, with your own weakness. After his pepperoni attack, he moves the lasers and ground spikes, which is what he wants you to think. The lasers are actually made of string cheese to attract you to them, but you know better, and the ground spikes are hot sauce. Some hits of broccoli later and the cursed thorn has fallen into a mouthful of health. After your boss fight, you cross a magically appearing bridge, the level ends, and you complete the first floor of the tower, while still being underground. But hold on, the tips, what are they? More specifically, what are the blue coins? It's obvious the mini coins are, well, miniature coins and the timer is a timer, but what about the blue coins? Are they some kind of cryptocurrency? No, actually the blue coins are a lie. As you collect trinkets across the level, you don't question why they're blue coins. The blue coins aren't real and are all in your head. They just symbolize the importance of the trinkets you gather for the people whom they belong to. But it's more like double-stacked imagination. You, as a player, think the coins exist, while the delivery man thinks there's some kind of topping that'll motivate him to gather them. For example, blue cheese. Every delivery person who would go through this journey would see different things to symbolize the blue coins with. But hey, the tower is probably a really short series of levels, so your delivery man can escape quickly. Right?